This is Fitness Blender's Kickboxing Blend Low Impact Cardio. In this routine, we're going to be doing one round of 7 different exercises, and we're going to be going through each exercise for 50 seconds. You're not going to need any equipment for this routine. Let's go ahead and get started with our first exercise, the seesaw kicks. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. You're going to do a front kick with that left leg and a rear kick with that right leg. Just alternate back and forth. You're going to stay on those same legs the entire time, so it's always that left leg in front, always that right leg in back. Now we're going to be switching legs here in just a few seconds, so just keep this motion going. Make sure you're trying to get that front leg up as high as you possibly can, torso nice and straight up and down. You can lean forward a little bit when you do that rear kick though. And just a few seconds left until we switch legs. And go ahead and switch. So now that right leg is going to be the front kick, that left leg is going to be the rear kick. And we're almost done, just about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's go and move on to the next exercise, the high knee jacks. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. This is a nice slow high knee. Just picking that knee up as high as you possibly can, really squeezing it to the top, slowly letting it back down, then switching over to the opposite side, just alternating back and forth. Then add in that jumping jack motion with those arms. So those arms would come down to your sides every time you lift the knee, and then go up over top of your head every time you let that foot back down. Now make sure you keep that pace nice and even. You don't want to go really quickly. If you start going too fast, you're actually going to start increasing the impact on your knees and your joints. So just make sure you keep that pace at a level that when you drop that foot back down to the ground, you can kind of decelerate it and slowly let it touch down as opposed to actually letting it slap to the floor. Almost done, just about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's go and move on to the next exercise, the 3-punch lifts. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. So this is a really self-explanatory name. You're doing 3 punches for every time you lift a leg. So make sure you're alternating legs every single time, and you want to time your punches with your leg lift. So you want to make sure that on that 3rd punch is when you lift that leg. So it's going to go like this. 1, 2, lift. 1, 2, lift. So just keep alternating back and forth. Keep it as smooth as possible. Try to make sure that leg stays nice and straight and your torso stays straight up and down. The faster you go and the more you punch with a little bit more oomph behind it, the more calories you're going to burn and the higher that heart rate's going to go. Almost done, just about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and move to the next exercise, getting into those kickboxing moves a little bit more. We're going to be doing 3 uppercuts plus a front kick. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Now the cycle on this one is exactly like the last exercise, so it's going to be 3 uppercuts for every kick. The only difference is that kick is going to be by itself rather than with that last uppercut motion. So it's going to be real quick, 1, 2, 3, and then kick. And then 1, 2, 3, and kick. Just make sure you're alternating legs every single time. Just keep in mind that while you're doing this exercise, the harder you work against yourself when you're doing those uppercuts and when you're doing that kick, the more calories you're going to burn and the higher that heart rate's going to go. If you just kind of slowly go through it and just kind of slowly move your arm through it, just this natural motion working against gravity, you're really not going to get that much out of it. It's going to be difficult, but it's not going to be that bad. Whereas if you're constantly trying to work against yourself, using those opposing muscle groups to kind of pull your arm down at the same time as you're doing that uppercut, then you're going to get a lot more out of this exercise. Almost done. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next exercise, the tap jacks in row. Let's go ahead and get ready. And begin. So nice and slow, you're just going to pull one leg back behind the other, tapping it back behind you on the floor. Then nice and slow, stand up, Shift those feet, so bring that opposite leg back behind, and then come back up again, moving back to the original position. The same time as that, every time you bring a leg back behind you, you're going to be doing a row motion, pulling those hands back, pulling those elbows back behind you, a nice tight squeeze, and then slowly extending those arms back out in front of your chest as you come back to the center. Now, just like with the last exercise, you don't want to just move your arms back and forth. You actually want to work against yourself the entire time. So as you push those arms forward, you want to use those muscles in your back to actually try to slow yourself down. As you pull those arms back, you want to actually use the muscles through your chest to try to slow your arms down. So constantly be working against yourself to make it a lot harder and burn a lot more calories. And we're almost done. Go ahead and let it relax. We're going to move on to the next exercise, the jab, cross, and knee. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. We're going to be doing 3 different motions. It's going to be a jab, a cross, and a knee. That jab starts with that leading arm. So punch it straight out in front. The cross is that trailing arm coming straight in front. And then you're going to do a knee with that rear leg, with that trailing leg. Now just repeat that motion over and over again. We're actually going to be doing this for a full 50 seconds on this side before we switch sides. And we're just about halfway through. So remember, we're doing this for time and not for repetition. So you don't have to worry about what pace you're going at, how quickly you're doing the motion. If you want to slow it down a little bit to make sure that impact on that rear leg when you set it down is less, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure you're working against yourself as hard as you possibly can, keeping all those muscles nice and tense to make sure you're still getting that calorie burn. And go ahead and let it relax right there. We're going to switch sides and do the same thing on the opposite side. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. So we're doing that same motion again for another 50 seconds. That jab, cross, and knee. Just make sure you're moving whatever pace you can control, whatever pace is comfortable for those knees. Making sure you're working against yourself with those punches and that knee to get the most calorie burn out of it possible. And that's halfway right there. Now make sure you're still working against yourself the entire time. As you're doing this and those muscles start getting tired, they're going to actually start trying to relax on you and trying to do as little work as possible. So you have to constantly keep checking yourself to make sure you're still working as hard as you possibly can, working those muscles against each other. Only about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. All right, let's go ahead and move to the next exercise, the corkscrew toe touches. Go ahead and get ready. And begin. Those arms come straight out to your sides. Nice and slow. You're going to rotate down. Bring that left hand down to the outside of your right foot and stand it right back up. Arms out nice and straight again. Then bring that right hand down to the outside of your left foot. Just keep alternating back and forth, trying to rotate those shoulders as much as you can, as well as tip forward as much as you can. You can round your back a little bit on this one, but try to keep it as straight as you can. Try to keep all that rotation forward coming from your hips and all that rotation left to right through those shoulders. Now, if you need to, you can bend those knees, especially if you have really tight hamstrings. Otherwise, try to keep those knees as straight as you can or completely locked out. We're almost done, just about 5 seconds left. And let it relax. Good job, workout complete. You just finished Fitness Blender's Kickboxing Blend Low Impact Cardio.